guys, this is Doc's Market Minute for Wednesday, May 13th. Now, since the beginning of the year, I've been talking about these trades called whale trades, where we have just tremendous amounts of energy coiled up on all different time frames to the point where it just can't stand it any longer, and the chart takes that energy and finally breaks out in a specific direction. Now, we use the trend to understand which direction that it's likely to go in. If we have trends on all the major time frames that are heading to the upside, then that's clearly the strongest probability that the trade is going to continue to keep breaking in the direction from whence it came. And typically the way that we've been trading these is to use options. We use low risk measured move trades where we can get into a trade for generally less than $100 per contract. Many times it's about $20 a contract, and that's great as long as we give ourselves at least a month or so. Most of these trades on average are finishing out within about 11 days. So there's two problems that we run into from time to time. First of all is that it just keeps on going and it just doesn't break out. The current S&P and other index charts are a good example of this. We've been in this holding pattern for months now. Eventually, we're going to get a huge trend out of this, but sometimes what happens is your trades expire. The move doesn't happen within that 11 days, or it doesn't even happen within a month that you budget for it, and then you just have to salute it, surrender it, and let it go and trade it again. So Cathay Pacific, this is CATY. Cathay General Bancorp is an example of one of these that we identified this one back around the January, February timeframe, a long time ago, and we've been watching this one. But the problem has been, not only has it been taking a long time to finally break out, but when we did look to play this, the options were terrible. Now, what I mean by this is the fact that there's just no volume, there's no open interest. If we look at the May options, there's literally no action whatsoever. There's no open interest in the May options, which are going to be expiring in a couple of days here. And there's very, very little interest in the June options. And look at the bid-ask spreads on these. 5 cents by $5. Okay? Yeah, I want a piece of that action. I want to get in there and negotiate that spread. Now, this stock did come up on my scanner a while back because it generally did have pretty decent volume of at least 500,000 shares a day, and sometimes more than that. So this was okay. And if you consider the price of the stock, maybe what we should be doing instead is just using stock for these. So that's basically what I did back in the spring. Was I went long CATY back around the $26 range, and it's up about 15% now. And we're seeing all kinds of different consolidations at different time frames. Obviously, this is a huge consolidation at this is more of a triangle formation at the monthly chart. So we should be about halfway through this move here as it exits that. So this one could be good for quite a few points by the time this one's ready to stop moving. Now, this is not all going to come at once. The weekly chart is just about exhausted for right now. It's got a little bit left, but probably what we're going to see is some volatility up here. We'll see another consolidation pattern up here on the weekly chart. Eventually that too will break out if the trend is that strong, because we have just a tremendous amount of energy up here at the monthly chart. So I intend to hold this one for quite some time until I see a reversal in trend at the weekly chart. By that time, we should have all of this energy expended, and it'll be time to rotate out. Now, for those of you that are thinking, well, why don't you just sell calls on this? It's just not worth it. This is more of a speculative trade. I don't want to be selling calls on this thing and pinch myself to the point where I can't get out of the trade. So this is one of those rare examples where it's not even worth trying to rent your stock out, because the fact that the options chain is so illiquid that it's almost non-functional. So that's the point of today's video. There's always a different way to do something, and sometimes the answer may be to go backwards into something more simple, which is a better use for this trading setup. That's it for today's Market Minute. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.